They say beauty is a gift and a blessing, but in Adana, her beauty was the spark that destroyed her. The friends she trusted the most were the ones who plotted her ruin. Adana was known throughout Umuchi village for her beauty, kindness, and gentle nature. She helped her mother with chores, cared for neighbors, and treated everyone with respect. Her beauty was natural, but it carried weight. People noticed her wherever she went. Men admired her quietly, older women envied her subtle charm. Her presence brought light, but it also sparked envy in those who could not understand how someone could be so effortlessly admired. Her two childhood friends, Ngozi and Olido, grew up with her. On the surface, they laughed, shared meals, and braided each other's hair. But slowly, a quiet jealousy began to fester. They watched as villagers whispered her name, as men admired her from a distance, and as she received respect that they could not earn. Their smiles hid the growing resentment that began to dominate their thoughts. The arrival of Obinna, the wealthiest and most eligible young man in the village, amplified everything. He admired Adana for her charm, intelligence, and humility. He noticed her before anyone else, and soon, whispers of his admiration reached everyone. Adana remained kind and unassuming, unaware of the envy brewing in her closest friends. Ngozi and Olido began subtly planting doubts in the minds of villagers. A slight twist of words here, a rumor there, all designed to make people question Adana's character. Even small compliments from Obinna became manipulated into rumors suggesting ulterior motives. Adana continued her daily life, helping neighbors, attending village chores, and maintaining her gentle demeanor. Perfect on the surface, but under it, a storm was forming. Her friends had begun planning a betrayal that would shake the entire village and destroy everything she held dear. The village started noticing tension, but no one suspected the true source, the envy hidden behind the smiles of the people Adana trusted most. Adana laughed and helped everyone, unaware that the ones she called friends were sharpening knives meant to cut her world apart. In the days following Obinna's arrival, the jealousy of Ngozi and Olido deepened. They began weaving a web of lies, each one carefully crafted to manipulate the villagers' perception of Adana. The whispers they spread began subtly, hinting at dishonesty, poor intentions, and selfishness. Villagers who once respected Adana now began questioning her, unsure if the girl they admired was truly trustworthy. Her friends manipulated situations to isolate her. Compliments from Obinna or others were twisted, her helpful actions misinterpreted, and every friendly interaction was made to appear suspicious. Even her parents, who had always been proud, began hearing rumors, planting doubt in their hearts. Ngozi and Olido planned their first public strike. They orchestrated an incident during a village council gathering, where they presented selective stories and insinuations to cast Adana in a negative light. The villagers, who had always trusted Adana, started murmuring, unsure of what was true and what was manipulated. Adana remained unaware of the growing tension. She continued to assist with daily chores, attend village activities, and maintain her friendly nature. Yet every step she took was now shadowed by suspicion, every smile she offered now questioned. The climax of Part 2 occurs during a council meeting when her friend's lies lead some villagers to doubt her character publicly. Obinna begins to withdraw slightly, conflicted by the rumors. Adana feels the first true sting of betrayal, sensing that something is wrong but unable to identify who to trust. Her world had begun to crumble. The whispers she once ignored were now sharpened arrows, and the hands she trusted most were guiding them straight into her heart. Adana's life begins to unravel. Her reputation, once untouchable, now hangs by a thread. Villagers speak in hushed tones, some avoiding her entirely, while others whisper openly. Obinna becomes conflicted, no longer certain of her character due to the persistent lies her friends spread. Her parents are confused and worried, unsure of how to protect her. Ngozi and Olido continue to act supportive, their smiles masking satisfaction as Adana's world collapses. Every encounter, every glance from villagers now carries subtle judgment. Even people she helped in the past hesitate to speak in her defense. The engagement to Obinna is now uncertain. Adana feels isolation and heartbreak, the betrayal cutting deeper because it comes from people she trusted completely. The villagers' collective judgment weighs heavily on her, Yet she continues to move through her days quietly, refusing to show anger or despair openly. The friends orchestrate a public humiliation during another gathering. Adana faces villagers' suspicion, Obina's doubt, and the emotional weight of being betrayed by those she considered sisters. She experiences profound sorrow but begins to realize that she cannot rely on anyone but herself. Adana disappears from the village, leaving behind the life she once knew. Her beauty, once a source of admiration, had now become a liability in a world ruled by envy. But even in her absence, her presence lingers. The village remembers her kindness, the betrayal becomes evident in small ways, and seeds of eventual justice begin to take root. She vanished quietly, but the world she left behind would never be the same. The envy that had destroyed her now carried its own weight of guilt, and the villagers would learn that betrayal never goes unnoticed. Adana returns after months away, having endured hardship, reflection, and growth. She is stronger, wiser, and more aware of the intentions and jealousies of those around her. Her return is quiet. She observes the village carefully, noting how envy and betrayal have shifted relationships and attitudes. She begins to reveal the truth gradually. The villagers, once influenced by lies, start to recognize inconsistencies and the subtle manipulations orchestrated by Ngozi and Olido. Small details, forgotten by many, emerge, proving Adana's innocence. Obina, now aware of the full story, regrets doubting her. He sees the depth of her strength, integrity, and patience. Adana, instead of reacting with anger, allows the truth to shine through her actions and presence, exposing her friend's betrayal naturally. Ngozi and Olido are confronted by the reality of their envy and lies. Their reputation diminishes, and the villagers begin to treat them with caution and distrust. Adana's dignity, which once seemed shattered, is restored through her patience, intelligence, and quiet determination. The village comes to respect her not just for her beauty, but for her courage, resilience, and ability to endure betrayal without becoming bitter or vindictive. She emerges not as a victim, but as a symbol of strength and justice. They thought her beauty was her weakness, but it became her power. In a village full of envy and whispers, it was not knives, lies, or betrayal that defeated her. It was her heart, her patience, and the courage to rise when everything else fell apart.